Hello, my loves, and welcome back to BehatiLife YouTube channel. If we're meeting for the first time, welcome. And for those of you that are old friends and family, welcome back. As you guys can see, we're doing a really casual vibe this afternoon, or this morning, I should say. And we have our little one who is going to be joining us. And by our, I mean Mike and I's daughter. I was reading one of the comments from last week and someone said, I forget your name, but you were like, oh my God, when you said R, I thought you meant like the Behati Vibe tribe. And I was cracking up. No, I mean that she is ours, but she is our best friend, definitely. So how are you guys holding up? It is actually the Cancer full moon that is happening almost right now. I have the chart pulled up. We are a few moments away from the Cancer full moon. Are you guys setting intention, or did you set intention? I guess by the time you watch this, you would have already set intention. I definitely am. Cancer full moons are very, very special and unique for me. And special for me because Cancer rising, I just love working with the full moons. I have planned my entire life, like all the most important events, all the moments that I've set powerful intentions have always been around the full moon, but definitely the Cancer full moon. So wondering if you guys are tapping into this energy, especially when it comes to boundaries, protection, longevity, long-term protection, long-term abundance, long-term security. Those are things that we're tapping into, as well as the word that has been coming through lately, sanctuary, setting intention for the sanctuary. So let's go ahead and get cozy, get some coffee, get some tea, get some water, get comfortable, and let's go ahead and dive right into the charts, the readings, everything that it is that we need to know for this week and the Cancer full moon. All right, my loves. So like I was saying, we're going to be talking about this week's transits. And one of the most important transits that's standing out to me right now, that's first and foremost, is what it is that we've already kind of mentioned. And it's the fact that we're starting off this week with the Cancer full moon. And so full moons always connect us to things, energy coming to a head, a full culmination. What you do with this energy is totally up to you. It's never going to be my will to tell you exactly how to work with this energy. I really strongly believe. Oh, hi, good morning. I really strongly believe that you should be able to set your own intention and listen to your own intuition to determine what's going to be in your best interest, right? However, if I were you, what I would do is I would pull the chart for excuse you, I would pull the chart for your natal and see what does Cancer rule within your life. Also, if you don't want to narrow in on Cancer energy, you are more than welcome, right? I invite you to tap into the energy that Cancer rules in general, which connects us to a feeling of nurturing and mothering and support and comfort and the home and the hearth and cozy, as well as the areas of your life that you are ready to begin to emotionally protect or you feel need to be emotionally protected. For example, your peace. The other thing that we need to keep our eyes open for this week beyond the full moon is the fact that Mars, the planet that rules our drive and our ambition, is retrograde, still retrograde, retracing its steps back through the sign of Cancer. So this is more energy focused on Cancer vibration, Cancer energy. And when we are dealing with Mars, our drive, our ambition, our masculine energy, and our force, and our will, and our fire, and our fight, retrograde right now, the best thing for us to do is to focus on slowing down, being more intentional, being more at peace, and watching if there's parts of our lives that feel like they're getting triggered and activated. Definitely when it comes to proving ourselves, definitely when it comes to feeling scared or feeling like we don't suffice, like we're not enough. These are things that we want to start to work on healing or migrating away from, especially with the Cancer full moon. It's a wonderful time, honestly, to kind of like cut cords and cut ties with things that try to I don't say control and manipulate you, although those energies are here within the charts. We've been talking about that a lot lately, but those energies that are draining for you and aren't emotionally supportive of you any longer. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that the part of fortune, this isn't a new transit, but it's really something that's standing out to me as I'm looking at the chart right now. The part of fortune represents collectively where our greatest luck and our best fortune is going to come from. And transiting through the sign of Sagittarius, it's so important that we are focusing on expanding our minds past what we see and what we thought that we wanted for ourselves and for the globe. We want to learn, right? We want to be curious. We want to be exploring. We want to be expanding beyond our current limitations. So your greatest blessings right now are going to come through travel, through education, through your spirituality. So many of you guys are revisiting and returning back to those parts of your life that may have been neglected or were stunted or weren't growing, right? Education, travel, philosophy, and your spirituality. So leaning into those spiritual practice or leaning into those practices, right? Signing up for those classes, going back to university, booking those trips, right? Pushing past your fears, pushing past those doubts, those limitations, especially if you are someone who said, you know what, I was for the longest time, I was in this season, I was doing this, I was operating in this way, and I realized that I wanted to do different. I wanted to branch out. I wanted to not do better, but do different, because there was abundance that I sense I can find it elsewhere. So I'm really curious if someone here has been inspired by Mars retrograde, right? Like your masculine is starting to chase, pursue, or look into, again, where this treasure chest lies when it comes to education, higher education, travel, venturing out, spirituality, philosophy, and your own inner wisdom. Some of you guys too are going to be writing new books. Oh, hello. Do you want to say hi to our friends? Do you want to say hi to our friends? Can you believe that I'm actually bringing her on the internet? Like, that's such a weird... Even as I say it, I still can't believe it. Big yawns. Big yawns. She just woke up from the best nap, girl. When I tell you, she sleeps so well. Like, not to be like mom mode right now and just like talk about my daughter, which I could talk about her forever. But she sleeps so well. And when she wakes up, it is so inspiring. She has taught me so much about myself through her just being. And I think that's actually, you know what? Maybe that's a whole thing. I like maybe that's a whole message all by itself. Like this tiny little creature, which I always knew that children and infants and little ones who come down to earth, like they show up in earth, right? They make it earthside. I always knew that they had wisdom. I always believed that, but it's interesting to see where this wisdom comes from when it's your child. So that's really interesting, because we were just talking about wisdom, and also like how I move is just so different. Like what is, I don't say important to me, because the things that were important before still are, but like how I move and what's important to me has really changed and shifted. Anyways, that's not for this YouTube channel. It's for Queen Bee Homestead YouTube. So if you guys are interested in hearing about my motherhood journey, I'm actually going to be talking about breastfeeding like in a few hours. I'm really excited to talk to you guys about that. Anyway, back to the astrology charts. So one of the next transits that I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that Venus is going to be squaring off with Jupiter currently retrograde. Now, Venus loves aesthetic. She loves talking about love, relationships, beauty, and those things that we value, right? We think sometimes as spiritual people that those things are not important, but they are. They're important to us because they help to give us a round, like a, what is it called? Like a full, well-rounded experience here in life. Like it's not always the hard part and the journey. Like oftentimes it's what makes the journey beautiful and worth walking along the way. Ma'am, is there something that you would like to say? Okay, she's looking at the camera. I can't. Does she look like me or Mike? I think she looks like a combination of the two of us. But yeah, Venus squaring off with Jupiter, currently Jupiter retrograde, it brings us to our spending. It brings us to the spirit of doing too much or doing too little or being lazy. And when Jupiter is retrograde, which is so funny actually now that I'm thinking about it. What's the matter, baby? Do we need to pause this and take a little snacky break? Yeah, I think we do. Remind me that we're talking about Venus square Jupiter. All right, my loves, we are back. I think my excitement was making me kind of yell a little loud and was agitating her. She's like, Mom, you don't have to talk so loud. You don't have to scream at our friends. And I'm like, you're right. It's kind of like when I get passionate and I'm excited and I start speeding up, my voice gets high pitched and I just blast through everything that is I'm saying. I have to be slow and intentional and methodical with what it is that I'm saying so that you guys can understand, so that my message, whether powerful or silly, can land, right? So you guys hear and know exactly what it is that I'm saying. Speaking of what it was that I was saying, what I was trying to say was, with Jupiter, one of the transits that was standing out to me is with Venus squaring off with Jupiter, it can make us spend too much. It can make us, believe it or not, it can sometimes trigger self-esteem issues or overindulgence if you have a baseline that questions your self-worth or indulges in your self-worth. Let's say if you binge eat, I don't know if that's I don't know if I'm allowed to say that here on the YouTube channel, but it makes you want to overindulge and overextend and overdo, especially when it comes to money, spending, aesthetic, and the things that is that we are attracted to, right? Like we see it and we're just like, yes, I want that in my life. But then you look back on it and then you have like buyer's remorse, or you regret the steps that you took while you were under the influence of Venus square Jupiter. Having said that, it doesn't all have to be regret and punish, like things that would later on feel like a punishment to you. It can open up the door for you to be like, you know what? I want to party. I want to go out with my friends. I've been working really hard. Sun transiting through Capricorn, which is the current influence that we're at right now, can make us work hard. It can make us a slave to our desk, a slave to our goals, or we get so fixated on our goals and what we're working on that we can't really rise up and walk away from the plan, which works, I guess, if you have a time crunch and there's things that you need to do, that you need to accomplish. But also balance and moderation are everything. Balance and moderation are the two topics that just keep showing up in Behati Love Notes readings. And for those of you guys that don't know, Behati Love Notes readings are the readings that I do for a small group, a small community, and the collective. I'll leave the links down for that if you would like to subscribe to that and tune into that. But anyways, the word temperance, moderation, and patience has really been showing up a lot lately, and we need to learn how to respect that. If not, we go too fast, we miss the mark. The blessing that was there, we shoot past it, or we drive over it, or we miss it entirely, or we hurt ourselves in the process, or we hurt our chances at a blessing. So with Mars currently retrograde, Sun transiting through Saturn, Venus square Jupiter, there is a tendency to kind of to practice some form of moderation. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is another transit that's going to be showing up. And it's going to be the Sun directly opposing Mars retrograde January 15th, starting at night. But we're going to be feeling the influence like 2 days before, two and a half, maybe 3 days afterwards. And this transit is Sun directly opposing Mars. Now, remember how I was telling you guys how Mars connects us to our fight, our drive, our force, our ambition, our will? Retrograde right now in the sign of Cancer, it can get triggered. And we need to really learn how to pace ourselves and find different ways to work with any type of tension that emerges here within ourselves or within others. Everyone's going to be different. You guys are going to feel this in different varying degrees depending on your personal charts, how your natal charts are wired, because some of you guys might actually be underneath this transit, right? Depending on your personal transits. And some of you guys, you might be far away and you may feel it not so personal, but you'll see it in the energy around you. Like the vibe, the collective vibe seems to be a little bit more aggressive and impatient. So this can be very problematic because don't forget, like Mars retrograde, even though it's retrograde, you would think that the energy of that planet would be repressed. The issue is that if the energy is repressed, right, fully repressed, it's going to bring up things that people have been repressing, not just in this moment, but for a long time. Like it could be issues that repressed from childhood. It could be anger and resentment that's been building up that bubbles and boils over now. So especially with Pluto in the mix here and the new degrees of Aquarius, it's trying to find a new way to express itself, and it has new triggers, finding like new outlets. So it's hard to kind of put your finger on it, but you'll know it when you see it because it's aggressive, it's loud, it's in your face, and oftentimes it can be very explosive. So really keep an eye out, and keep it in the back of your mind that, you know, if you are feeling any type of tension or pressure within yourself, find an outlet. Don't try to continue to repress it. Find an outlet to express it. One thing that is a great way is physical activity. I don't mean yoga, although that's wonderful. I mean something that really allows you to get out that agitation. You could scream into a pillow. You could run. You could punch like a punching bag. Not each other. Don't hurt yourself in these situations. Don't hurt others. Find an outlet to burn off this energy, to get it out, for some of you guys, it's not just physical, like it's not just mental agitation and irritation. It's a need to like prove yourself, like an emotional need to prove yourself. It's an emotional need to protect. For others of you guys, you are really feeling the push, the pull to find purpose in your life. And this transit is wonderful because these excessive opportunities with Venus squaring off with Jupiter can fall into your lap. This is where you can find like a contact that will last you a long time. With Mercury transiting through Capricorn, these contacts that you can make and these conversations that you're having, they could create a deal, like a contractual agreement, a business agreement. If you're buying a house, like a monetary, an investment, those things could last forever, and they seem to be really good. Like honestly, they will be, they will pay off in the long run. So for those of you guys that are doing investments with business or communication, like talking, like meetings with business, selling yourself, you will love this transit. This agitation and this pressure that you have is like the coffee that you've needed to really just kind of push yourself to the finish line, to really sell yourself, to market yourself in a way that is undeniable and that adds more to your success, like more to your resume or more to your, what do they call it? Your, not platform, but yeah, your profile. Is that it? Portfolio. So a lot of you guys are business minded right now and very serious, very focused. Also, some of you guys are sarcastic. When Mercury is transiting through Capricorn, communication tends to get cold and a little sarcastic. So keep an eye out for that. That could also, towards the wrong person who's sensitive, it can not land well. It's not a Mercury retrograde issue. It's not that someone doesn't understand what is it you're saying. It's the way that you said it, the tone, or not reputation, but how someone was moving, before, that kind of makes it so it's like, yo, I'm not the right person for you to joke with right now. I hope I'm making sense by the way that I'm saying this, because again, like it's a casual conversation today that we're having. That's kind of been my vibe lately, just because I have to be a little bit more flexible with life right now, which I've been loving. So it's not so organized. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, with Mercury and all of these transits, not just Mercury transiting through Capricorn, is sometimes it's not the tone of voice and the way that you said it. It's the fact that it's you. You know what I mean? It can, with the wrong person, it just doesn't land. Like your jokes, your sense of humor, what you're trying to say. I guess I'm the right example for this right now. Because it's me or because it's the situation, like it doesn't land well. So it's not anything for you to apologize for, but it's something to be aware of and for you not to take personally when it happens or if it does happen, if you're one of the people who's going to be feeling this transit. So if I were you guys, and again, I don't want to tell you how to work with these energies, but if I were you, I would continue to set intention and I would continue to focus on building the home, business, branding in a way that is comfortable for you. There's so many transits and energies lately that are trying to make things convenient for you, that are trying to prioritize what is in your best interest. This new chapter, these new ventures, this new approach to life has you at the center of your universe. And if things aren't aligning, if things are painful in a way that doesn't add value to your life and isn't providing lessons and isn't stretching you to be the best version of yourself, you're going to have to consider letting that thing go, or else that's going to be the very thing that drags you down. All of these transits right now, more than ever, they're not so flexible with you. They require you to be flexible with it. And it's good because it's creating like welts on our body. It's creating sores on our body. Those sores, those welts, metaphorical, not literal, in time, they make us strong. They make the parts of us that are getting rubbed energetically, they make them stronger so that we're not so weak in those areas in our life, so that we don't take, especially when it comes to taking things personal or being taken advantage of or having our power being taken away from us, things that we would normally stomach, that we would normally co-sign and be like, okay, yeah, that's fine, this is the way we've always done it. If the universe doesn't think that it's balanced and doesn't see that it's good for you or good for the collective in the long haul, these are the very things that are going to keep rubbing so that you have pain and discomfort and you switch up and you move in a way that's different. You pivot. So all of that to say, which is a whole lot, please let me know if this is making sense. But all of this to say that we're in the midst, again, of incredible change. Mars retrograde is teaching us, and Sun transiting through Capricorn is teaching us, and Mercury transiting through Capricorn is teaching us to slow down, pace yourself, be serious about your business, but also know when to take breaks. Know how to invest. Know what you want to invest in. Go and have a good time, but have some balance where you're not overdoing anything here. One last thing that I want to talk about. Uranus transiting through Taurus is still happening. And Uranus is currently retrograde. Let's just really be careful and mindful about our spending and our resources, because those things are very unpredictable right now. 1 minute you could hit the jackpot, 1 minute you could feel abundance, and the next minute it's a complete drought. So with Venus scoring off with Jupiter, again, there's that need to that temptation to blow money, to blow resources, and to go over the top. When you are having fun, when you are enjoying yourself, enjoying life, or spending money, or changing your appearance, or whatever the case is, make sure that you're not overdoing it. Like, again, that's that sense of moderation that needs to happen here. Also, be very careful, because the Justice card has been showing up a lot lately, and as I'm looking at the chart, I could see it here. Any lessons that you need to learn, mistakes that you make, you're going to have to take full accountability for it. It's like whatever actions that you take, they come right up into your face sooner rather than later, and you have to take ownership for it. Like, you won't have a choice but to take ownership. If that's the case, then move accordingly, right? Make sure that you're not doing anything that you will regret. Make sure that you're not getting into so much trouble that you can't get out of it. Make sure that you're not spending and overdoing so much that you're going to live to regret that afterwards, or it's going to block a blessing that's further on down the line in the future. Have fun, do what you got to do, but don't overdo it, and you will fare better. Also, be mindful and aware that you are not the only person who's under these transits. There are a lot of people who are mentally feeling the pressure. Like, literally, if they have mental and emotional imbalances, the pressure and the heat is pushing down on them as well. And they may not necessarily have the resources, the tools, or the messengers, right? Like the community to support them, to talk them through, or to help them to understand why things are happening and what to do as things are happening. So just keep your eyes out for that, especially at the start of this week. But definitely we're going to be feeling this like the first chunk of the new year, 2025. So my apologies for everything being a little discombobulated. I'm pretty sure you guys know what it is that I'm talking about, or know what I'm trying to say. If you have any questions though, don't be a stranger, guys. Just let me know down in the comments. I've been I've been so much better lately at being able to have the time and the space to respond to the comments, you guys' comments, which I love. Behati Love Notes first, and then you guys second here on the YouTube channel. Big part of that is because the apothecary is closed. BehatiLife Apothecary, the shop is closed. I'm still on maternity leave. So it frees up a major chunk of my time because I'm not constantly trying to ship out orders. So there's that. And then the other part is I get to slow down. Mars retrograde. I finally get to slow down and be in my Cancer bag and be a mom and take care of my little investment, or our little investment, I should say, our daughter, who I just love being a mom. Okay, one last thing that I'll say before I say goodbye. I think I'm going to set intention for the future. Like, maybe I shouldn't be sharing it here. Like, this is not Behati Love Notes, where you guys know if you're in Behati Love Notes, I'll just be talking to, just telling you guys all the things. But so maybe this isn't the space because this is more a wider audience, way wider. But I think I'm going to set intention for the future. What it is that I see for myself, or what the universe sees for me, the divine sees for me. I'm so open to pivots and changes these days. So maybe I'm sharing this because someone else here needs to hear it. Like, maybe our paths are changing. I know that astrology is going to be something. Astrology and tarot are always going to be the things that I talk about because it has been that way for over 20 years, 20 plus years. There's no way that it's going to change now, you know? But I'm really inspired by the Cancer full moon. Also, speaking of, I haven't set intention. I probably shouldn't be sharing this online, but I haven't, outside of the little one, I haven't really set intention or done a vision board in like over 3 years now, after I manifested my house and the major parts of my personal life. I really was just enjoying everything. I feel like with the Cancer full moon, this is going to be a time for me to focus on building those details again. I think I'm saying this to you guys because I want to, and because maybe this is an invitation for you guys to do the same, right? Like maybe just don't overlook this full moon, right? So anyway, and the reason why too is because Cancer, I think it's one of the more overlooked zodiac signs because everybody thinks that it's a pansy. It's probably not the right word, but it's weak, emotionally weak. That's not true. Cancer is one of the cardinal signs and pulls its power from its emotions, is one of my favorite ways of saying it. It makes us powerful when we think about, when we get ourselves to a space where we are emotionally stable, happy, and at peace. And if that's not happening, or if it's not happening for our family, our friends, or the people that's closest to us, that's when Cancer says, I'm going to do everything in my power to change the circumstance so that it can happen. So I just really feel like this full moon, and even if you're watching this from the future and the full moon has passed, it's never too late. Like, honestly, it's never too late to set intention. I just want to encourage you guys to set intention for your peace and your happiness, your well-being and your safety. Not that anything's going to attack you or throw you off in that way, but like that you feel safe, that you can feel relaxed, that you can be yourself and let your guard down, whatever that looks like for you, without feeling like you're going to be attacked, or without feeling like you might be judged, or without feeling like something's going to be taken away from you, especially when it comes to your security and your abundance. In fact, you being you could easily be the greatest blessing, and you just, never knew. So I don't know what that looks like for you. I am going to go and shuffle for Behati Love Notes because it's just time. I believe we're going to be diving into the full moon. Absolutely. We're definitely going to be diving into the full moon energy for Cancer, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about like setting intention and stuff over there. For those of you guys that want to join that community, Behati Love Notes, it's going to be linked down below. It's an awesome group that it is that we have there. I'm working on expanding Behati Love Notes even further to bring in astrological transits every day. Besides like one day on Saturday or one day during the entire week. So having like one day of the weekend off or one day during the week off. And the reason why I'm able to do that now is because we just found like the perfect nanny, and she's going to be helping, making it way more easier for me and my partner to just kind of fill in doing what we love, and do more of it because we love it. We literally, that's one of the things that we have in common is our passion projects. So for those of you guys that are interested in starting off the year, like really treating your intuitive side, your spiritual side, and bringing in the spirit of tarot and astrology into every day for the remainder of the year, Behati Love Notes is there for you. I'm going to link it down below. Until then, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Make sure that you're subscribed. Sorry for the fluidity of today's video. It's a little bit disorganized. It's just me hanging out and talking with you, which I liked it. But if you are very serious about astrology and you expect me to show up the same way that I always have, yeah, you didn't get that same jest, right? A little bit goofy today, but there's always next week. All right. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm sending you all of my love. I literally love our time together. I always do. It's always so good to be able to talk to literally my internet friends. That's how I view you guys. And if you want to talk a little bit more about personal life, like my personal life, what I've got going on, motherhood, all of the things, including, guys, look at these seeds. My desk is so random, but look at these seeds. This is from an acorn squash that that we ate. It was so good that I'm saving the seeds. Queen Bee Homestead YouTube I'm going to be sharing these seeds over on there. Not selling them, but I'm going to be planting them and probably talking about breastfeeding and all the things. It's just going to be just me, just vibing. So if you would like to follow that YouTube channel, that's going to come up next. After I put my little one down and get cozy and comfortable, because it is a rainy, overcast day, which are easily some of my favorite days. All right, so I have said enough. I am long-winded, but it is my YouTube channel, so I can call the shots, right? Until then, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure that you are actually subscribed to this YouTube channel, because it has been unsubscribing people, which is so annoying, but it's not just my YouTube channel, it's everybody. We all out here just trying to survive. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.